Might as well plan to take a little nap this afternoon. Yeah, just the most boring show that you could imagine. I mean, for the next 2 hours, God love you, you're just going to be twiddling your thumbs, wondering, what these guys are doing, hanging out on your radio.
Yeah, this is sleeping with.
Oh, yeah. Hooking up and tracking down this segment, number one, brought to you by Bayou Outdoors Supercenter, Mustang Survival, Daiwa Rods and Reels, and BioBore Fuel Treatment. I'm Gary McCoy, and I'm a little bit jealous because even our board operator,
our genius
Steve over there, has a nickname. I don't have a nickname. He's Stinkbait. We got the Ranger Pro staffer,
Julie
Steve Graff.
You have a nickname.
You leave her out of that. The Mud Hen, Mike Eccles
and I
in
don't
the house.
like my nickname.
You don't like Mud Hen?
I
What do you want to
like
be?
it. I want to be something regal.
Regal.
Yeah.
We could call you, Specklebelly. That's a regal goose.
Potbelly.
Potbelly? I could be Speed Bump or something.
Answer this.
Okay.
Answer me this. That's stupid when you answer me this.
Yeah.
How many times in your life do you remember leaving the house the middle of May,
Yeah.
turning around and walking back inside and getting a jacket?
Hey,
Oh.
Hey, I did that this morning.
Hey, it's supposed to be
I did it this
45
morning.
degrees tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
45 degrees in May. Tomorrow is the 15th.
never-ending winter
I'm just telling you.
of 2014.
Good night.
So,
Okay, we are in the middle of monsoon season, it seems like. Another cold front blowing in. What's he going to do to the fishing? We'll cover that. Bob Seeley is on the way here in just a few. He's headed for Toledo Bend with the Big Bass Splash. Also, we're going to hang out again with our buddy Johnny Geis from Lake Fork. And we're going over there, next Wednesday?
Next Wednesday, right
Next
after
Wednesday.
the show.
Yeah.
We're headed over to Lake Fork.
Are we going to get to take camera? I mean, our camera guys, Chuck and Jim, going to get to go with us and hang out?
They're welcome to go.
I know Jim knows how to catch a fish.
Yeah, well.
I don't want him showing me up or anything.
Hey,
I'm a newbie.
all I know is I want to catch fish like they caught them this weekend.
With a brim?
No.
Oh.
They whacked them.
Really?
Dude, you hadn't heard?
No.
They set a world record
Oh, you're kidding
for the
me.
largest 3-day catch in the history of any bass event ever.
Really?
these figures were 3 days and not 4?
310 pounds of fish for one guy in 3 days.
Oh, my God.
Keith Combs whacked. We got that in another set. We got excerpts from the actual weigh-in that we're going to play today.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
Speaking of those excerpts, Gerald Swindle.
Yeah, Gerald's going to be. He's also got a little. Nobody can describe an event like Gerald Swindle.
I want to share a stage with him one day. Well, actually, I just want my little sliver of the stage just to hang out with Gerald Swindle for just a few minutes. Also on the show, we've got a brand new Mr. Twister lure for you, the Magnum Sensation. Jason Pittman is going to be calling in to tell us about that. Is that what you're holding there?
Great looking bait, man.
Yeah.
This is something I definitely get excited about.
Chris Jones from the FLW going to be on today's show. All kinds of cool stuff for you. And I think Bob Seeley is on the phone right now. Bob, are you there, bro? Oh, you got to push this button over here there, Stinkbait. Yeah.
Stinkbait.
Hey, Bob.
Come on, Stink.
We're going to
Bob.
change your nickname.
Bob. Yo, Bob Seeley. Stinkbait hadn't pushed the right buttons yet. He's in there.
Well, maybe he's out of pocket. Maybe he's out of range. String on his tin can's not long enough.
Can you imagine not being able to hear Bob Seeley? That would be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, he's gonna
try it
attempt
one
that
more
again.
time.
Okay. Don't forget now, Black Lake, Clear Lake, the Citizens Committee meeting next week. Those guys are discussing a number of issues. You've got
Just tonight.
is that tonight?
14th.
Oh, God, yeah.
Tonight.
Okay.
There's 2 meetings tonight.
Okay.
One's the CCA.
Right.
Then the other one's the Black Lake Committee at Lakewood Inn tonight.
And they're discussing
Out of control of Salvini
Yeah.
with the bow weevils.
Okay.
The CCA and they're putting redfish in Black Lake, right?
Red River.
Let's start a rumor.
Red fish in Red River.
Hey, there is a possibility they'd last for what, a week, maybe?
They probably would.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be long, but I mean, it could happen. They say that in the Mississippi River that they have come up for. I'm trying to stall here. We've got Mo, Larry, or Curly, one of the three, hanging out over there. What do you think? Have we got it? Bob Seeley. Hello, Bob.
We still have no Bob.
Yep, you're number one with us too, Steve.
Is he there now? No?
I can hear you.
Hey, look at here. All Gary had to do was push the button.
Now we
Well,
got it.
you know how Jerry is.
Yeah, well, that's you get old.
The Midas touch.
You what?
You get old, and these things happen. The mind is the second thing to go.
Yeah.
I ain't going there, bro. Oh,
Okay,
that's
Bob
just
Seeley,
wrong.
how are you, brother? I mean, you're getting ready for Toledo Bend. Are we going to set all kinds of records there?
Well, I certainly hope so. It'd be nice.
Yeah.
We only had about 6 inches of rain the past 48 hours.
Yeah.
So I can tell you right now, the lake's up.
Yeah.
The lake is on
It's
the
still
rise.
rising, but
Yeah.
the fish are biting.
So what's the story you're hearing? When you say the fish are biting, I mean, are you getting some good reports?
Yeah, I have. I've had a lot of fishermen that's been over here kind of pre-fishing some and stuff, and they said they're more excited about this year than they have been in a while for the simple reason that they're catching a little better quality fish, and which I'm excited about.
Mhm.
And I think maybe we'll even see a double-digit figure.
Well, Bob,
Maybe
look,
that could
yeah,
win
look,
this stuff.
looking back at your Rayburn tournament, you had 4 or 5 fish all over 9 pounds, but none over 10.
No, we didn't have a double-digit. Nah,
Right.
that's just one of those deals. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Okay, give us the good
up?
news. I mean, somebody's going to be able to win like $1 billion at Toledo Bend, right?
Well, it's $500,000.
Okay. Yeah, it's only $500,000.
God.
Golly.
Unless you're putting up the other half, go for it.
No, I said $1 billion, brother. We're giving away Bill Gates money at Toledo Bend.
Graf would have heart failure.
No,
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
$500,000 guaranteed. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's guaranteed cash and prizes.
That's absolutely correct.
Give me the now. What is
Well,
it
you're
like?
looking at 12 places every hour, $1,000 down to $225 per hour
Right.
for the top 12 bass, and that's 8 hours a day. The 3, 4, and 5 exact weights each day are $5,000. And of course, if someone doesn't claim one of those one day, then that means that $5,000 will go in a random draw. So we give it away anyway because it's all part of the guarantee.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest bass overall will win a brand new Ram truck, a 20XS Triton loaded out, Mercury Lowrance, power pole, Minn Kota trolling motor, the whole kit and caboodle with that deal.
Mhm.
Plus, I think it's $7,000 cash that goes with it.
Yeah,
Wow.
that is correct.
So,
Yep.
and I mean, of course, second place ain't too shabby. That's another truck and a boat.
Yeah.
And I think third place is I don't have my entry form in front of me, but I think y'all do.
Yeah, we've got one right here.
Yeah, we're looking
Okay.
at
Steve's
Well,
looking at.
third,
I think you get a
fourth, and
truck
fifth
for
is
third
overall.
place too.
Yeah, third place is a truck as well as $1,000 cash. Fourth place is $6,000 cash, and fifth place, $8,000. I don't have my glasses on. Fifth place is $6,000 cash. So again, sometimes they say it doesn't pay to come in second. This event here, it pays to come in fifth.
I'd take it. I'd take it.
Hey man,
Right.
Good well they're going to win the hourly, so that's not bad for one cast, one bite,
No.
one big bass. That's pretty neat.
Hey, Bob.
I tell you what, I'm here at the site right now. We're trying to get things set up, and we've had to rearrange this still a little bit because we've had such a rainfall here. Normally our setup is in front of the big flags and things of this nature, but so we're here now, kind of revising some things and all. But it's going to be a neat tournament. It's going to be a good event. We celebrating our 30th anniversary year.
wow!
Basically, is what Seeley Outdoors is doing. This
You've
is our
almost got this
20th.
thing figured out by now.
Yeah.
Well, you think, but you know what? You never get too old to learn.
Amen.
I
Right.
don't mind telling you, I learned a lot at the Rayburn event this year, probably more so because I paid a lot more attention to what I've been doing over the years. Sunday should be the fisherman day. And, that's, I think that when I do my 35th anniversary, we'll reach things there and you'll see a lot more focus on the fishermen, not so much the concerts and things like this.
Bob, now you're going to be fishing this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Cypress Bend. Somebody can enter 1 day, 2 days, or all 3 days.
That's correct.
Now, where are you having maybe tomorrow a pre-registration or anything?
Well,
maybe?
actually, tomorrow is the big registration day. We'll be here at Cypress Bend Park from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. There's no late fee. So we'll be here doing registration. People that's already pre-registered that haven't picked up their packets, they can come and pick them up. And we would prefer all pre-reg to go ahead and pick all their packets and T-shirts and stuff like this. We've got to make sure that everybody, gets the opportunity to win. Like on the T-shirt bonus hours, that's 8 to 9, 12 to 1. 2 different hourlies each day. That doubles the money if you win that hourly, and you've got the official shirt. And then we also have the bonus card, that pays the odd hours, 3 additional places. So, instead of 12, I think we pay either 14 or 15. Somewhere in there. But
he gives away so much money, he can't even keep up with how much money he gives away.
It's almost dumb not to wear a shirt.
Hey, Bob, I got a question for you. You're doing this on Sam Rayburn, Toledo Bend, Lake Fork. Compare the numbers. I mean, which lake, day in and day out, has more people sign up? And if that's the case, why?
Well, Rayburn is where it all began.
Okay.
So Rayburn always has the most. And Lake Fork is generally the second biggest, and then Toledo Bend is the third. The thing that I look at is that Toledo Bend has all the possibility of really being the biggest tournament that I could ever have.
Mm-hmm.
My hat's off to SRA on the Louisiana side and the Texas side, because they've got all buoys and stuff. You can run the lake on both sides, Texas and Louisiana side. And, this lake is 80,000 acres bigger than Rayburn. So, you got a lot more water to fish. I promise you can't overcrowd this lake.
Yeah, right.
And it's got over 1,100 miles of shoreline.
Mm-hmm.
So you've always got good places to hide if the wind's up or whatever. And of course, we allow trailer, but there's so many ramps on this lake as well. So I don't know. In time, things will happen.
Well, the weather's supposed to really be good for you, Bob.
That's what I heard.
High in the low 80s every day, lows in upper 60s.
With sunshine.
Sunshine. I mean, it's just going to be a great opportunity for guys to go out and catch a lot of fish, but also catch some quality fish. The quality fish, as the Elite Series guys proved last week, are still biting. There were still fish on beds last week.
And you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if somebody finds fish on a bed this week.
Right, exactly.
So, I mean, anything can happen at a Big Bass Splash event. I tell you what, we made a statement at Rayburn, though, on the very last day during our awards deal. Our slogan is where amateurs win like the pros.
Right.
All right. We had Kevin Van Dam, who is the best fisherman on the planet. He's a Bassmaster Elite. He's won more money than anyone has ever tied Rick Klung's record with 4 Bassmaster Classics. And to have Kevin Van Dam on stage to present to the winner of that event their trophy, and to see Van Dam and that guy holding this trophy above his head, made the statement of exactly what I have been trying to accomplish for years, and that is where amateurs win like the pros.
You bet.
Yeah.
It was priceless. And Kevin and I have been good friends. I competed against Kevin. I fished the Bass circuit back in the 70s and early 80s, and when Kevin first started. And, he's a class act. He's got more skills than any human being I've ever met as far as true, as a professional bass fisher.
Now, I did hear a story on Kevin Van Dam one time when he first started. Bob, maybe you can confirm this.
Right.
That the first tournament that he fished, Rick Clunn, they were in weigh-in line together, and Rick Clunn said, "Who are you?" He said, "I'm Kevin Van Dam. I'm the guy that's fixing to start kicking your butt."
Oh, my.
That's exactly right. You are exactly right.
Now,
but, I tell you, Kevin has so much respect for Rick Clunn, and we all, without those guys and without Ray Scott, Ray Scott is the man that founded BASS. He is the man that made bass fishing a competitive sport.
Right.
And, Ray and I have been good friends for years and years, and he's been a mentor, and I have all the respect for him whatsoever, because without him, none of us would be doing what we're doing today.
Okay, Bob, Big Bass Splash, $500,000 Big Bass Splash, Toledo Bend, this Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If I want to learn more about that, just go to SealyOutdoors.com.
That's right. You can go online now. The registration for online has already been cut off.
Okay.
So tomorrow, which is Thursday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., you'll be able to come down at Cypress Bend and get registered. It's $160 for 1 day, $210 for 2 days, or $260 for 3. You pay cash at time of registration. Give you a $10 discount from that point. Guys, you got so much opportunity, so many different ways to win money. And you're not competing against the pros, and anyone that's got it within 90 days from the date of this event is ineligible. So, very family orientated. Little Anglers Division, we've got that for the kids, and all sorts of stuff. So our corporate sponsors will be here. Some great deals will be coming on. So, if you're a spectator, hey, we've got an opportunity for you to cash in on a special prize Sunday afternoon during the award show. So we just, it's going to be a heck of a tournament. The sun's going to be shining, and $500,000 is guaranteed. And I appreciate everything that you guys have done for me. Thank you.
Well,
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you. We appreciate you, Mr. Bob. We thank you for all your support of our program. So
yes, sir.
Thank you.
Bob Seely, make sure you check out the all the information about the tournament. SealyOutdoors.com. $500K guaranteed cash and prizes. The heaviest bass of each hour gets $1,000. All the way down to the 12th place. He was saying that some of the hours are going to be bonus hours. We'll either pay 14 or 15 places.
Right.
I mean, some big bucks on this. Toledo Bend this Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Thanks again to Bob Seely. Here in just a minute, we're going to visit about the Elite Series trip to Lake Dardanelle. Mark Davis, obviously the favorite on that one. We'll find out just why here in a second. Hooking up and tracking down on 1130, The Tiger.
Super Bowl.
Toledo Fiberglass specializes in fiberglass restoration, offering fiberglass repair on all major brands of ski and bass boats. Al Drew and his staff will get you back on the water where you belong. Everything from metal flake scratches to recarpeting, Toledo Fiberglass can fix it. It's also home of the Gorilla Hull and the headquarters of the Minn Kota Talon Shallow Water Anchor System. So the next time you need fiberglass repairs or restoration, go see Toledo Fiberglass just off the Texas Highway or call 800-554-5452. You've heard the old saying, good things come to those who wait. Well, Natchitoches, the wait is over. John Abraham has just opened the best hunting and fishing store in Natchitoches. Cypress Knee Outdoors, located on Highway 6 west off I-49, has everything a hunter fisherman could want. Top name brands Zoom, Santone, Pelican, V&M, and the new Uzo baits, as well as hunting brands like Primos, Duck Commander, Hoyt, and Federal. So don't drive to Shreveport Ellick anymore. Go see the guys at Cypress Knee Outdoors or call them at 238-HUNT.
Welcome to the Natchitoches Shooting Range, where you can participate in many exciting activities, such as trap, skeet, 5-stand, sporting clays, cowboy action shoots, and many others. Individual memberships and family memberships are available, but the public is welcome. Come enjoy yourself at the Natchitoches Shooting Range on Tawson Island Road, just before the Grand Ecour Bridge.
Did you notice some brands sending out trophies from 2006 at boat shows this year? Really? That's like wearing your high school Letterman jacket to a job interview when you're 30. But if other brands are going to raise the issue of awards, no matter how old they may be, we're happy to join the conversation. When it comes to awards, Sea Ray is in a class all its own. Sea Ray is the most awarded boat brand ever. Bayou Outdoor Supercenter has yours waiting for you. Bayou Outdoor Supercenter is Louisiana's family-owned RV and marine dealer.
Santone, your go-to bait, and ask your local tackle dealer if they carry Santone lures, or go to santonelures.com.
This segment presented by Nichols Department Stores, Toledo Fiberglass, Paul's Farm and Garden, and J&J Exterminating. Got pests? Call J&J. Speaking of pests, here's Steve Graff, Gary McCoy, and Mike Eccles.
And welcome back to Hooking Up and Tracking Down Show. Steve Graff, Mike Eccles, and the one and only Gary McCoy. Real quick, no one has a better accommodation or a better place for breakfast, lunch, or dinner than Lake Fork Marina. Tiffany's Restaurant has something that guarantees to fill your belly. The marina also has a great selection of baits and tackle with top-name brands like Strike King and Santone Lures. Need a guide for a day? Make sure you ask for one guy. Name is Johnny Geist, the best guide on Lake Fork. So make your reservations today by calling Lake Fork Marina and Motel at 903-765-2764. Simply a great place to get away from it all.
You going to buy us dinner there next week?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're staying at Johnny's house.
Okay, but you're going to buy us dinner there.
I'm buying you dinner.
Okay.
Yeah, dinner's on hooking.
They got a
up
big
right now.
cheeseburger?
They got
some onion
big
rings?
cheeseburger. I bet they got a heck of a chicken fried steak.
Ooh.
Now we're going over next Wednesday after the show.
Right.
And we're going to fish Wednesday evening.
Next Wednesday
Spend the night at Johnny Geist's house.
Yeah.
Then we're going to get up the next morning, go eat breakfast someplace.
Right.
Yeah.
Go
I
fishing.
bet I know where.
Right.
Yeah. Go fishing and,
hit
for
the-
half a day.
Hit the bank about 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go back out. If we eat breakfast, we got to hit the bank about 10. If I eat bacon, we will be hitting the bank about 10.
You don't know how to just put a Walmart bag inside the live well?
Johnny's boat may have a toilet on it. Have y'all seen that new Ranger he's got? Oh, dude. It is the catch me.
I saw his old one.
Oh, you ain't. This one here is top of the line, brother. It's nice.
Okay, we're gonna test your bass IQ,
Yeah, we are.
and I want to throw something you guys' way
All right.
to see if you responded on bass IQ the same way that I did.
Okay.
My buddy Matt Williams, who has been involved with the wildlife industry for a number of years now, I mean, college educated and everything, he sent me, apparently got into a discussion.
He's got no business being on this show.
no,
man.
no education ever allowed here. But Matt got into a discussion with a guy, and they disagreed on their points of view on this. And so he sent me a text, and he says, can radical or fluctuating weather or water conditions cause bass to not spawn and basically ingest their own eggs, or will they always spawn and the mortality just be high?
No, they can. You can lose a spawn.
What will happen with the eggs?
They absorb their eggs. They reabsorb them back into.
What about you, Mike?
I'm going to say they're going to pass them.
They actually absorb them. I've watched these eggs. They lose their granular look. They'll maintain that color for a long time, that orangey color.
Right.
But there's no granular look to it or anything like that. It gets really lean. It loses all the blood flow to it. The veins. There's no veins left.
Looks like a little Vienna sausage in them.
Yeah. What Eccles said. And at some point, right, it seems to me like that generally happens by, mid-July. You'll start seeing that. By August, they'll have turned completely white, turned into a form of protein. The body absorbs them.
Right.
And but they do their best. I've noticed this. Bass will do their best to spawn. That's what God made them to do.
Yep, they will.
To continue to be prolific and to spawn and deliver.
And again, two things alter that: water fluctuation, extreme water fluctuation,
Right,
or extreme cold temperatures.
And I'm wondering what this year, and I'm sure that's why it came up. I'm wondering what this year has done to the spawn. Has it prolonged it? Do you think we still got fish that are spawning?
I think that yes, we've still got fish that are spawning because they caught them. They caught them last week on Toledo Bend.
Yeah.
I think what it did was it spread the spawn out instead of having a bigger push than most anglers realize.
Right.
In February on the moon.
Yeah.
People think it doesn't happen, but we actually do. The moon in February. Then we have a bigger one in March and then April.
Right.
I think that it started in February and it went on it was a trickle effect.
Mm-hmm.
It instead of happening like three waves, I think it just happened in a slow, steady pace this year.
According to my wild fishery biologist expert, old fishing partner, this is the month though.
Yeah.
It has to happen.
Right.
If it don't happen by the full moon in May, it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the determining month.
Now, do you know that you can actually trigger a second spawn with a drawdown of a lake?
No.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, you can actually make fish spawn sometimes in the fall by a drawdown of a lake, or so I was told.
Now
I've
seen fish fall out of a spawn, leave their spawning grounds with falling water.
Yeah.
But I've also seen down on Black Lake, I've seen where the fish had started to spawn. The water came up, I want to say it was 8 inches, almost a foot overnight. Those fish stayed with that area. It just was further away from the bank where they had, because they were staying where they were, but the bank line had moved up further into the
Let me
woods.
tell you something else y'all probably didn't know. Some fish will spawn twice in a year. And you know why? You know what bodies of water they do that on? Power plant lakes.
Oh, I can believe that.
Yeah, Power Plant Lakes. There's a spawn a lot of times in November, December, as well as late March, April.
Martin Creek, Brandy Branch.
But is it the same female spawning twice,
Yes,
or do you have two different groups of fish?
Same fish.
Wow.
Same fish.
Huh.
You didn't know that, did you?
I do now.
I don't know that I believe it.
He doubts what I just told the man.
Okay, what's your bass IQ?
All right, we're fixing to find out just how smart you guys really are. Which Elite Series pro's first name is Arthur? Ott Defoe, Skeet Reese, Zell Rowland, or Boo Woods? I don't know who Boo Woods
Skeet
is.
Reese.
Ott Defoe.
Ott Defoe is correct.
Okay.
Mike guessed and got it right.
Okay. We're going to guess on all of those like that.
Because no self-respecting parents would intentionally name their kid Ott.
What about Skeet?
Skeet, hey,
That's who I thought was Skeet.
do you know what Skeet Reese's former occupation was? In California?
What?
He was a ceramic tile setter.
Really?
Yes, sir.
You don't know anything about that, do you?
I grew up doing it, yeah.
See, I saw Skeet was a nickname that they used. Maybe he had some problems when he was youngster with his shorts, or I don't know. But anyway, in the 1970s, lure
His skeeter britches?
1970 lure manufacturer Tom Mann had a pet bass for lure testing. What was the name of his bass? Bobby McGee, Major Tom, Eleanor Rigby, or Leroy Brown?
Leroy Brown.
That's it.
Leroy Brown's correct.
I know it is.
Yeah, you're 1 for 2.
Yeah.
Which Bassmaster Elite Series pros owns the company that makes all the BASS trophies? Charlie Hartley, BJ Hoasis, didn't never know who that is, Dave Smith, or Byron Velvick?
I am going to confess that last night I tried to find that on Goggles. Or whatever that is.
Google.
Oh,
Yeah.
Google.
Goggles.
Okay. Maybe that's the reason I couldn't find it.
Goggles.
He's even got our camera guys laughing.
And
Goggles.
I could not find it. I researched all. Well, I couldn't find BJ Fuentes or whatever his name is. I couldn't find him.
I got it wrong.
Charlie Hartley.
That's what I thought.
Okay, no.
It's not. It's
no.
Dave-
I think there's Dave Smith.
Dave Smith.
Yeah, very good, Mike.
Okay. Well, I knew it wasn't Byron. You know, they would have mentioned that when he was on The Bachelor.
The father of which Elite Series pro invented and marketed the color selector in the 1980s?
Oh, I see already.
John Cruz,
Yeah.
Kenyon Hill, Randy Howe, or Justin Lucas?
Kenyon Hill.
I didn't try to look that up because I gave up on the second one, but I would have said Kenyon Hill too.
Yeah, because you looked at the sheet.
No, I did not. I did not.
Yeah, but I just knew that was Kenyon Hill.
I don't cheat much.
Can you see Mike in school? I'd hate to sit by him.
What'd you get on 22?
Number 14, Grant. That is correct. Kenyon Hill is
You
correct.
know, like Steve wrote down on the answer, I don't know, and I called. I said, me neither. Yeah, that's how I
Eccles
got
rode the
called.
short bus licking the windows.
Hey, I got 3 out of 4.
Yeah,
you
me
did
too.
good.
I'm not as stupid as I look.
Y'all all did better now.
Fantastic. Okay, the Elite Series is headed to Lake Dardanelle. I've never been there. That's
It fishes like Red River in a lot of ways.
Is that
It's a
northern
river
Arkansas?
system. It's the Arkansas River runs through Lake Darnell.
Okay.
So it's going to fish like a river system. Mm-hmm. So whoever the river guys are going to be guys to compete. But Mark Davis is the legend up in that neck of the woods. So I look for him to be the guy at the forefront.
What about
Trying to
Dion
have him
Hibden?
on, Dion probably pretty good up there too.
Yeah.
What well-known lady angler considered Lake Dardanelle her home,
Wow, good question.
Penny Berryman.
who passed away last year?
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
Penny
I got you.
Yep.
Is it a pretty body of water? Long?
She was pretty.
No.
Real quick, our prayers and thoughts need to go out to Kevin Short, who we had on the show a few weeks ago. Lost everything in the tornadoes that came through
that's right.
Mayflower,
Yeah.
Arkansas. Lost it. He's got a video on Bassmaster.
Wow.
Go and look at it. He summarizes the whole deal, goes room by room. It's just devastation. Kevin Short will be a guy that will also probably be in the forefront of this event, too, if his mind's right.
Wow.
So can you imagine?
That happened 5 days after he was on the show with us.
Yeah,
Isn't that
exactly.
incredible?
He left Toledo Bend tournament to go take care of business there.
Man.
So our prayers and thoughts with Kevin Short and his entire family.
No doubt. No doubt. Okay, Mark Davis, the favorite on this. So you thinking a crankbait bite?
I think crankbait bite, yeah. I see that being the ticket fisher coming off the spawn, you know, post postpone bite. I look for that. Fish are moving out in their summer patterns. I look for that to do well.
Well, you know what? The same thing could be said for Toledo Bend right now with the Big Bass Splash going on this weekend.
Yeah,
I mean, would you, if you were going to tie on a crankbait, what color would you fish right now?
I like the Sexy Shad. Just a great color right now this time of year.
You wouldn't go Fire Tiger right now?
You could. Depends on the color of the water. For me, I go by color of the water more than I do anything else. And
Yeah.
Toledo Bend, you're going to have a lot of grass, so the water's pretty clear there. So that Sexy Shad bait on Toledo Bend really catches a lot of fish.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of fish. Carolina rig will also come into play. Fish are pulling out into those points now, coming off the spawn.
Mm-hmm.
I look for the Carolina rig to also be effective bait.
Too early for a mud bug?
I'm not a mud bug guy. I don't know.
What do you think, Mike?
When was the last time you know anybody that caught a fish on a mud bug?
Yeah, really.
I caught one on one last year.
But your hooks were rusty.
Well, of course they were.
To be one of the all-time most famous baits, nobody fishes it anymore. And what does that say about us?
Oh, well, we've gotten too sophisticated. I'm just telling, or too lazy.
No.
Because pulling a mud bug all day long is work, and I've still got several Magnum bugs.
But it's how many baits do you have in your box that have been there 30 years that will still catch fish that we don't throw?
Oh yeah.
But look at the advances in the reels now too with the mud bug that you can throw. It'd be a lot less work today than it was 20 years ago when we first started throwing.
I guarantee you, with the grass down on the south end of Toledo, you take a river run, and you'll catch a box of fish. Yeah. And when was the last time you threw a river run?
I don't know that I've ever thrown one.
Wow.
I might have, but I don't remember.
Wow.
I don't know if I own one.
Okay, here in just a
I
minute.
had a short partner one time that fished with me, but he didn't like being called
What,
that.
Jeff Holder, was it?
Yeah, no.
Draft had an opportunity to hang out with Gerald Swindle, and we'll wrap up the Texas Toyota Bass Classic on Lake Fork, the world record Texas Toyota Bass Classic on Lake Fork. That's next. Hooking up and tracking down 11:30. The Tiger.
Welcome to the Natchitoches Shooting Range, where you can participate in many exciting activities, such as traps, skeet, 5-stand, sporting clays, cowboy action shoots, and many others. Individual memberships and family memberships are available, but the public is welcome. Come enjoy yourself at the Natchitoches Shooting Range on Tawson Island Road, just before the Grand Ecore Bridge. Too hot in the summer, too cold in the winter, and your heating and air conditioning system is burning holes in your paycheck? You need to call Luke at Guy Heating and Air.
Legendary quality. At Ranger, it's an unparalleled commitment to incredible strength. With the industry's only pull-truted transom, we don't rely on the upper deck to support the transom and motor. It's a difference so strong, we sliced off this rear deck to show its independence from the transom. From total performance to your peace of mind. Cut open the whole story at rangerstrong.com.
When I go shopping, I want camo, fishing tackle, guns, hunting gear, work clothes.
And when I go shopping, I want home decor, gifts, children's and baby clothes.
Fortunately, we can both get exactly what we need at the same place, Nichols.
All the name brands you can find in the big city without driving to the big city and paying big city prices.
Nichols, keeping folks happy since 1914.
You've heard the old saying, good things come to those who wait. Well, Natchitoches, the wait is over. John Abraham has just opened the best hunting and fishing store in Natchitoches. Cypress Knee Outdoors, located on Highway 6 west off I-49, has everything a hunter fisherman could want. Top name brands, Zoom, Santone, Pelican, V&M, and the new Uzo baits, as well as hunting brands like Primos, Duck Commander, Hoyt, and Federal. So don't drive to Shreveport Ellick anymore. Go see the guys at Cypress Knee Outdoors or call them at 238-HUNT.
River and see what you've been missing. What are you afraid of? A good time?
This segment presented by Toledo Bend Lake Country, Commercial Power Equipment, Ranger Boats, and Bob Seeley Outdoors, home of the $1 million Big Bass Splash. Once again, back to you, Gary.
Hey, thanks again for hanging out with us, hooking up and tracking down. I want to remind you, we are on the website, hutd.net. hutd.net. That's hookuptrackdown.net. Anytime you want to catch up with some of the tips that we've given, maybe revisit some of the interviews that we've had, all the archive shows are on there. And on Facebook as well, facebook.com/hooking up and tracking down. You can post your pictures, any cool stuff. You catch a big fish, we'd be tickled if you'd put a picture of that big fish up on our Facebook page as well.
Oh, now, no doubt. And also because I want to compare it to some of the big fish that they caught at Lake Fork.
Oh.
Guys, when I tell you they stroked them this weekend over there,
Yeah.
look at your weight.
Was that 34 pounds? Is that just the final 5 fish?
That's the final day's catch, his
Wow.
final 5 fish.
34.8.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was the final weight for him on the final day. Keith Combs ended up winning this event with 110 pounds. Stetson Blaylock came in second with 102 pounds and 12 ounces. Russ Lane came in third with 99.4. Jason Christie came in with 97. Justin Lucas, who we've had on the program, he came in tied for fourth with 97 pounds.
If you look at this, Keith Combs averaged 27.5 pounds a day.
A day.
Dude.
I didn't keep up with this tournament. I apologize. They apparently were not keeping these fish because these numbers are not possible if you're putting your fish in a live well. Were they weren't weighing and releasing on the water?
No, they were weighing in. Yeah,
they had to have kept slot fish. 5 fish, 34 pounds. That's a 7-pound average. You can't have the fish over the slot go 9 pounds.
I think there was an exemption to the slot on that. I think that they were.
Yeah.
I don't know. We can find that out though.
Yeah.
Next week, Dave Mercer will be on the show.
Okay.
The MC, the weighmaster for this event. Dave's coming on the show next week.
Yeah.
As well as Keith Combs will also be on next week. We'll ask Keith that.
I think somebody told us, might have been Kevin Short. Somebody had told us that they were going to make, maybe it was Bob Seeley, had told us they were going to make some exemptions on this particular tournament for them to be able to do that. Because
they had to.
I can't imagine them fishing. If they did, or if they didn't, like you say, the math isn't right.
Mm-hmm.
But the second thing is, I can't imagine BASS going to an area where there's a slot in force.
Exactly.
It would be the only one that I could think of.
Now, real quick, not everybody caught him, guys.
Yeah.
Gerald Swindle struggled.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to hear from Gerald. Gerald's going to describe this event for him.
Bassmaster Angler of the Year, almost $2 million in earnings. Let's hear it from Warrior, Alabama, the G-Man, Gerald Swindle. G, going to finish this event with 42 pounds, 4 ounces, and in 37th place, and that qualifies you to go hang out in the suite with Big Show.
Well, what that gets you right there, 20 pounds a day at Lake Fork will get you drinking cold pops in the VIP suite up there. Yeah, that too. I tell you, I got my hats off to Keith and those guys who catch those big ones. I sat out there and caught a lot of fish, and I really enjoyed fishing the lake and strolling a big crankbait. Dave, I went out there and used a hummingbird. I could find the fish on side imaging, throw a fat-free shad out on 10-pound line, stroll it across the points and catch them. It's a lot of fun. I just never caught a big one. I don't know how in the world they get them 10-pounders in. I can't hardly get a 4-pounder in. I'd probably poop myself if I had 42 pounds. I'd probably quit. I caught 42 pounds, I'd be like one of these drunk people in the crowd waiting on the concert. Yeah, that one right there. That's my aunt right there. We just got back on a family vacation. She was that way down there, too. I told the preacher to pray for her twice. She drinks that wine, goes crazy on me like I don't know what to do. I told her to cover up that ankle bracelet. Somebody's going to know she's on parole, and then that's going to arrest us both. Hey, that's my sister. I'm done. It's been a real fun being here at Lake Fork. It's an incredible. I almost said Conroe. Y'all like that? Hey, I've been screwed up all week. I feel the same. That's exactly what y'all just said. That's what I felt like when I fished that same roadbed for 5 hours and had 11 pounds. I said, and you can hear that radio sounds like an auctioneer. Boat 34, 8 pounds. Boat 34, 712. Boat 34, 74. I'm like, I was crippled up at 9 o'clock. I said, I couldn't catch up with a gill net and dynamite. I might as well quit.
Well, congratulations for being here. Let's hear it for Gerald Swindle.
He is not right. I'm just telling you. There's something wrong with him.
You know, I know who his idol is. I mean, if it's not one of the three of us, it's got to be Larry the Cable Guy because his comedic twist reminds me a lot of Larry the Cable Guy.
Now, imagine him and Bob Seeley on stage together.
Oh my God.
I witnessed that 2 years ago.
Oh, my God.
At Toledo Bend, and that was the funniest weigh-in I have ever witnessed in my life. People were falling out of their lawn chairs.
They
couldn't help themselves.
Well, you know, you think about the situation he's in, though. I mean, when you're Gerald Swindle, you're expected to go over there and whack them.
Yeah.
When you don't,
yeah.
How do you maintain for your sponsors? How do you maintain, that air that makes you one of the elite like he is?
Right.
That's how you do it right there.
But that's a blessing. Gerald Swindle is expected to go catch fish.
Yeah.
He didn't.
Yeah.
So now be funny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's got something to fall back on. Rick Clunn doesn't catch fish. He just walks off stage.
Yeah.
Doesn't say a word. Well, that's right. I mean, Gerald's got something to fall back on when he has a bad day on the water.
Real quick, let's go ahead and get to the final weigh-in. Here's the final weigh-in right now with Keith Combs as well as Stetson Blaylock on stage, side by side. Here's how the final weigh-in went.
Who our champion is. Keith Combs on day number 1, 42 pounds even, becoming our Lear heavyweight. Day 2, a little tougher, 33 pounds, 8 ounces, giving you a total, an unbelievable total of 2 days with 75 pounds, 8 ounces for just 2 days of bass fishing. Stetson got him today, so you need to back it up. You're looking for 27 pounds, 5 ounces. Hit it. 34 pounds, 8 ounces. Keith Combs once again wins the Toyota Texas Bass Classic, becoming the first ever 3-time TTBC champion with 110 pounds for 3 days.
Incredible.
I got a text from Joey Hood that answered our question. They did weigh and release their fish on the water.
Okay, gotcha.
They were allowed to bring one fish over the slot, which is, 24 inches?
Yeah, 24.
Or 24.
24.
Okay. Allowed to bring one in to the weigh-in for presentation purposes. Thank you, Mr. Hood, for saving me again.
We're trusting Joey.
Joey's one of the few guys you don't argue facts with Joey.
I got
Hood.
a question.
He's not very funny, but he's very factual.
He's accurate.
When you consider that the difference between Keith Combs' weight 34.8 and Jason Christie 32.8, you're talking about 2 pounds. So probably not a whole lot of concern there. But let's just say that the difference had been a couple of ounces.
Right.
How many different sets of scales are out on the lake at that time?
I don't know. They did bring in their biggest fish. I do know
But
that.
the point that I'm making is could an argument not have been made, hey, there's enough differentiation in these scales? I guess they all, assume that role as
I can answer that question.
We just did this. I did what I guess is the first Major League Fishing format in our area a couple of weeks ago for Margaritaville Casino, and had 20 anglers, players go out, furnish scales for all of them. Bought the best set of scales that I could buy. You just have to live with it.
Yeah.
You
that. You just know going in.
That's it. it. Of course, we weren't fishing for Toyota, whatever.
I wouldn't think they'd be off more than a couple of ounces, would you?
No, but it doesn't matter. An ounce makes a difference.
Sure.
Right.
But when you go into this format, you accept it.
Yeah.
And I even asked the guys, don't go home and start putting stuff on these scales and side by side and seeing if yours weighs 1 ounce more than mine and on 10 pounds.
Right.
You just live with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Real quick, let's hear from the winner, Keith Combs. He describes this event for him.
Unbelievable, not just so dominant in this event, but you have become the first ever 3-time TTBC champion. Doesn't matter where we move it in the state, you win it. You have also set a world record today, the biggest ever 3-day tournament winning weight with 110 pounds. The goal of this event was to show the world what Texas Parks and Wildlife has, and my friend, you have done it this year. Tell me what's going through your mind.
Oh man, this is unbelievable. I caught my biggest bag in a tournament for 1 day, for 3 days. I mean, this lake, Texas Parks and Wildlife, is a testament to what they can do just by the weights here. I mean, the biggest weight that I've ever seen in a 3-day event is like 80 pounds other than this. To go out and catch 110, I mean, just crush the record. I didn't want to stop today. It was just unbelievable. I mean, I know a lot of you guys fish Lake Fork, and I've never seen anything like it. I got on a school late today, and they just blacked out the hummingbirds. I mean, you couldn't see through them. So if you haven't been fishing here, and I know a lot of people have probably, heard this lake's kind of gotten tough, the fishing's not as good as it once was, I'm here to tell you, it's strong. If you're going to go fishing, you need to come right here to Lake Fork and knock their lights out.
Okay, my math was wrong. 3-day event. I thought 4-day event.
No, it's 3.
So the averages of this was over 37 pounds a day, not 27.
Exactly.
37 pounds, right at 37 pounds a day. That would have been 111 pounds for 3 days. Good God. Keith Combs.
We're going there next week.
Yeah, amen. And
Johnny better be on.
well, Johnny is going to give us a report here in the next 20 minutes or so. Stay close for that. Up next, our question of the day. Do the up-and-coming pro anglers have an advantage with early success on the BASS and FLW tours? And what are the pros saying about that? That's next. Hooking up and tracking down 1130, The Tiger.
Hey, guys. Tim Fletcher with you here on 1130, The Tiger.
Looking for a place to get away from it all? Look no further than Red River's Midway Marina in St. Maurice. Owners John and Kemp Nelson invite you to stop by for lunch or come in and rent one of several cabins for the weekend. RV hookups and a nice boat ramp that leads to some of the best skiing and fishing on Red River. Fully stocked bait and tackle store with gas pumps on and off the water. So book your next trip online, MidwayMarinaStMaurice.com, or call 318-646-0097. Natchitoches, Louisiana is known for its rich history, and when you talk car buying, Natchitoches Ford has the distinction of selling the very first Ford automobiles in Louisiana. That means they have been satisfying customers for a long time. Friendly people who will make sure you have a great car buying experience. Their no high pressure and hassle-free sales staff will do their best to offer you the best service possible when buying that new car or truck. Family owned and operated, Calvin Braxton Sr. and Jr. want to invite you to stop by and see the guys who started it all in Louisiana car buying at Natchitoches Ford Lincoln, just off the Highway 1 bypass in Natchitoches, or call them at 318-352-3677.
Rick Terrell here for Terrell Brothers Furniture in Natchez, where we've got 7-piece living room groups as low as $5.99. You heard right, 7-piece living room groups as low as $5.99. And we've got over 20 groups to choose from. So before you buy living room furniture anywhere, come to Terrell Brothers Furniture, 310 Texas Street in Natchitoches.
Did you notice some brands sending out trophies from 2006 at boat shows this year? Really? It's like wearing your high school letterman jacket to a job interview when you're 30. But if other brands are going to raise the issue of awards, no matter how old they may be, we're happy to join the conversation. When it comes to awards, Sea Ray is in a class all its own. Sea Ray is the most awarded boat brand ever. Bayou Outdoor Supercenter has yours waiting for you. Bayou Outdoor Supercenter is Louisiana's family-owned RV and marine dealer.
318-256-5613.
This segment presented by Santone Lures, the Red River Waterway, and Vicious Fishing Line. Get vicious with the fishes. Now back to the guys who are the so-called experts of the outdoors, Steve, Gary, and Mike.
You know, I just love technology.
Yeah, me too.
I do. I'm getting texts right now from my wife. One of our dogs is having puppies right now, and I mean, it's just saw the third one. Look at that little joker right there. That's a pretty little puppy, isn't it?
Is that a lab?
No.
What?
It's
a mutt?
Yeah. No, it's one of those little Lhasa Apso. Yeah.
You put all of them in a sack, go out to the pond.
And you made fun of my dog?
Hey, no. You don't seem to understand. I just live there. That's all. I just make the note.
If a dog won't go get something, hunt something, smell it up, he ain't worth having.
I'm telling you. I agree 100%.
Question of the day.
I'm still making notes.
Who wears the pants around here?
Oh, dude.
You do? She just picks them out?
Amen. Don't even get me started on that.
We all know that.
Okay.
Same way at all of our houses.
Okay. Question of the day.
Do the up-and-coming pro anglers have an advantage with early success on the BASS and FLW tours? What do you guys think?
I do not.
Do they have an advantage?
I do not understand
the
that question.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of the new kids on the block, so to speak, have come on board.
Yeah.
And they're having some early success.
Yeah.
They have been for the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
It's some of the old timers like Rick Klein have struggled at times. I mean, they've literally struggled, and here come these newcomers to the same bodies of water that these guys have been fishing for a long time, and they're being successful, and the older guys aren't. What are the reasons for that? I know what one of the reasons is. Technology. They are so savvy with these depth finders and computer systems that are on these boats today.
Yeah.
And even like Mark Davis, one of the guys, they asked the pros what they thought. Mark Davis said that was without a doubt the reason why these youngsters are so much better than they were when they first got on board the tournament trail. He said, when I came on board, you had to pay your dues. You had to learn the lakes. It took you a while to learn them. And he said, these kids are coming in here with internet access. They know how to go research lakes like none of the other anglers know how to go do. They know how to get information from people that we don't know how to go. He said, I can turn a computer on and I can maybe go to the internet and search a couple things. He said, that's about it for me. These kids can turn these computer systems into up-to-date fish finding machines.
I think you nailed it in that, Abraham Lincoln said, if I had an hour to chop down a tree,
right,
I'd spend the first 45 minutes sharpening the axe.
Yeah.
And Buck Perry, you've probably read Spoon Plugging, Mike.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. Buck Perry in the book Spoon Plugging. I'm going to tell you right now, if you have ever thought seriously that that you were a good fisherman and you just bombed when you went to another lake, you always managed to catch fish on Caddo or Bistineau or whatever your favorite lake is, but you can't catch them anywhere else. You really need to pick up a copy of Buck Perry Spoon Plugging, and I'm sure you'd have to go to Goggles and find
y'all
it.
Finally got that right.
Yeah, and find it. But what Buck Perry says is that you can have structure without fish, but you cannot have fish without structure. And these guys have learned that what structure is not the cover.
Right.
It's not stumps. It's not a tree. It's a bottom depth change.
Contour lines in
the lake. And
yeah.
These kids have learned exactly how to do that. They can actually take kind of a tour of the lake, if you will, on the computer well before they ever got there. Because if Gary McCoy can catch a fish when they're biting, then anybody can catch a fish when they're biting.
Right.
The only other phase is to find out where the fish are and then how to catch them when they're not biting. Once you've put those two together, bam, winner.
Well, Rick Clunn and Kevin Van Dam both had early success. Both of them. Rick Clunn, Kevin Van Dam was a snotty-nosed kid.
Yeah.
And I mean snotty-nosed kid because I picked him up at the airport and didn't like being in the car with him.
Yeah.
When he was winning on Sam Rayburn.
Yeah.
And he has evolved into the greatest fisherman ever.
Yeah.
With a great attitude, a super person.
Yeah.
So this early success is not something that's just being brought on by electronics.
Right.
But also, yes, are they at an advantage on Toledo, Sam Rayburn, Lake Fork, Gunnersville, or something like that?
Yeah.
But what they're doing is they're not learning to instinctively find fish. They are relying 100% on electronics, the computers, everything.
Yeah.
The great fishermen for 20 or 30 years are the ones that still have that gut instinct.
But you still got to know, 90% of the fish are in 10% of the water.
Exactly.
You still got to be able to narrow it down to that 10.
That's right. Yep. Bring them to Cross Lake or Caddo Lake, and the side imaging bull will go out the window. It will.
Yeah. Well, it's a shallow body of water.
It will be, okay.
Yeah, that's the key to that lake. Both those lakes, Caddo.
Everywhere you go, your knowledge, your instinct is going to help you catch fish. Everywhere you go, that deep water instrument is not going to do it.
Well, Ben Clemens and I used to be roommates a long time ago, and we were both just killing fish.
Thank God that was before the internet.
Yeah, really.
It was kind of funny. We were killing the fish on Caddo Lake back then, and we got to talking to, God rest his soul, James Akes one day, and we were talking about the differences in Caddo. You've got the hill, you got the valley, you've got different places like that. And he says it's all relative. When you're fishing average depth of Caddo, and most of the places you catch fish 5 feet, if all of a sudden you find a place that the average is 5.5, well, you're talking about a 6-inch difference in only 5.5 foot of water. Yeah. That's like a wall. That's a huge difference.
It's a transition area.
Sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so those are the things that you have to consider. You have to put it into relative perspective.
But I think the one thing that Mark Davis and some of the older pros that commented on this and what they were saying, the learning curve for these new guys has been cut in half because of technology, the resources that they have. He said, we didn't have the internet. All you had back then was Bassmaster Magazine. There wasn't a bunch of publications out there that gave you detailed instructions on how to go catch fish at Gunnersville.
Okay, I got to go back to what Mike's saying, though.
Is it any different than in any other sport? Do you not see football players, basketball players and stuff starting off greater than legends were 50 years ago?
It depends on the sport. In my opinion, baseball has regressed. You don't have the level of talent in the big leagues now that you had in the 70s. Believe it or not.
I cannot believe that I directed this conversation towards sports. Somebody kicked me off the show.
I'm impressed.
I apologize to all of y'all out there.
I'm impressed you went that direction, Mike.
What a mistake.
But when I look at even the level of talent in the big leagues today, you're seeing when you look at the number of errors that occurred with the position, but they are not the level of player. Now they're bigger, they're faster, they're stronger, but their skill level is not what it was in the 70s, or even probably in the 60s.
Ditto. The skill level of these kids, as far as finding and catching fish, are not as great as some of the old guys because they've got all the mechanical devices helping them.
But this is eliminated. But because of their technical expertise, they've eliminated a whole lot of boat riding.
Oh yeah,
and having to search around and graph things out. They've got a pretty good idea through the GPS. Go here, catch fish.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, they put that into their GPS, and they know exactly where to go.
Let's make the question simple. Go back to the original question: what's worse or what's harder? Start at the top, start at the bottom, and work your way to the top, like the old anglers used to, or start at the top and have to stay there.
Yeah.
Well, you see a lot of people that just can't manage, especially when you start winning.
What do you call them? The musicians, great song, one song wonders, or one night.
Here's the other thing that Dion Hibden alluded to me. We've had the same conversation. Me and Dion actually had it in the boat one day, and we were talking about a lot of the young guys today. They don't mind staying on the water 12, 14 hours a day. Mm-hmm. They're on the water 6 o'clock in the morning. They come off at 8 o'clock at night. He said, I ain't doing that no more.
They're not roofing houses.
He said, I'm not doing that no more. No. He said, I'm on the water 8 hours a day and I'm off the water. He said, these young guys come into this sport now and their work ethic and their desire to learn as fast as they can is greater than what it was even when I came on board.
Wow.
I thought that was impressive.
Testament to them. Yeah.
Exactly.
No doubt. Okay, Johnny Geist is coming up. He's got our Lake Fork report and a tip of the week. That's next. Hooking up and tracking down. 11:30, The Tiger.
Oh boy, it ain't his fault. It's so looking for us.
Welcome to this week's Hooking Up and Tracking Down Tip of the Week. I'm Ranger Boat Pro staffer Steve Graff, here to talk to you today about sunglasses, eyewear. Very, very important. Number one, for eye protection, okay? Not just from the sun, but from setting the hook and the bullet sinkers coming back and hitting you in the eye. One company is out there that's making the best pair of sunglasses, shatterproof lenses on the market today, Wiley X. I've been using Wiley X's for over 2 years now. The best pair of glasses I've ever put on my face. They're very lightweight, shatter-resistant frames, shatter-resistant lenses, that even the military uses these for all their soldiers. If they're good enough for the military, it's good enough for me. So, some of the features that I look for in a pair of sunglasses, number one, I want them to completely cover my face really well. These seem to do that. One of the features that I also have that is the what they call the glasses or keeper. Okay, this is the keeper that when you put these on your head and you're running down a lake, what you need to do is you can take them and you can cinch them down really tight where they won't blow off your face, just like so. You just cinch it down tight, and it keeps the glasses from flopping off your head and going into the lake. Very expensive pair of glasses. You don't want to lose them. Use the keeper. The keepers are very important. They come in handy, and they also keep the glasses tight to the head. So next time you get ready to buy a set of sunglasses, look for the best name on the market, folks. Get Wiley X. You can get these at Bayou Outdoor Supercenter of Bossier City, Cypress in the Outdoors of Natchitoches, or Toledo Town and Tackle.
You're watching KNTS Digital 19 in Natchitoches, Louisiana. Too hot in the summer, too cold in the winter, and your heating and air conditioning system is burning holes in your paycheck? You need to call Luke at Guy Heating and Air.
legendary quality. At Ranger, it's an unparalleled commitment to incredible strength. With the industry's only pull-truted transom, we don't rely on the upper deck to support the transom and motor. It's a difference so strong, we sliced off this rear deck to show its independence from the transom. From total performance to your peace of mind. Cut open the whole story at rangerstrong.com.
Hello, I'm Troy Umbehagen. We at Natchitoches Nursing and Rehabilitation proudly support and watch TV17's local programming.
Welcome to the Natchitoches Shooting Range, where you can participate in many exciting activities, such as trap, skeet, 5-stand, sporting clays, cowboy action shoots, and many others. Individual memberships and family memberships are available, but the public is welcome. Come enjoy yourself at the Natchitoches Shooting Range on Tawson Island Road, just before the Grand Ecore Bridge.
You've heard the old saying, good things come to those who wait. Well, Natchitoches, the wait is over. John Abraham has just opened the best hunting and fishing store in Natchitoches. Cypress Knee Outdoors, located on Highway 6 west off I-49, has everything a hunter fisherman could want. Top name brands Zoom, Santone, Pelican, V&M, and the new Uzo baits, as well as hunting brands like Primos, Duck Commander, Hoyt, and Federal. So don't drive to Shreveport Ellick anymore. Go see the guys at Cypress Knee Outdoors or call them at 238-HUNT. Toledo Fiberglass specializes in fiberglass restoration, offering fiberglass repair on all major brands of ski and bass boats. Al Drew and his staff will get you back on the water where you belong. Everything from metal flake scratches to recarpeting, Toledo Fiberglass can fix it. It's also home of the Gorilla Hull and the headquarters of the Minn Kota Talon Shallow Water Anchor System. So the next time you need fiberglass repairs or restoration, go see Toledo Fiberglass just off the Texas Highway or call 800-554-5452.
4. Welcome back to Hour 2 of the Hooking Up and Tracking Down show on 1130 The Tiger. This segment presented by Prefert Backwoods Bloodline, Spro Lures, BioBore Fuel Treatment, and Daiwa Rods and Reels. Again, back to the three amigos who are true legends, in their own mind, that is. Steve Graff, Gary McCoy, and Mike Eccles.
Hey, don't forget now, coming up a little bit later on this hour, Mr. Twister's got a brand new bait, the Magnum Sensation with Jason Pittman. We're going to talk to Jason about that, and we've actually got a couple of bags of those in here. I'm telling you, the one that's got the little air pockets in it there, Mike.
Mm-hmm. That's a pocket series. Yeah.
Could you put a rattle in there?
No. You could put one in there and push it all the way up in there, but they're actually like an air chamber.
Okay, so you're just going to get the bubbles?
Yes, right.
Yeah. You remember back in the day, and I don't know if you ever did this or not. Maybe Steve did. Remember back in the day, guys would take a piece of an Alka-Seltzer and stick it in a worm? Did you ever try that?
Put it up in a tube. Yeah,
I remember that happened.
Did you catch fish?
I didn't.
I never did.
But the tube felt better. He said his stomach was fine.
Hopefully, we're going to get to talk to Johnny Geis here.
Yeah, I just sent him a text to call in, so I'm hoping he'll call in.
We want to get a little bit of a Lake Fork report. Obviously, with what just transpired over there with the Texas Toyota Bass Classic, with the guys doing so well, you got to believe that the lake is on fire right now.
How does it feel? This is a touchy subject, but somebody sees what takes place in that tournament, and then they go over there and they expect Johnny Geis or somebody else to perform in the same way.
Exactly.
That's a tough nut there.
Well, the thing about it is Johnny's in a position to be able to put you where that magic can happen. He can't guarantee you anything.
And the difference is those guys went over there single-handedly concentrating on themselves to catch a fish. Johnny is put in a position to try to get you to catch fish.
Exactly.
That's the tough part of guiding.
And the thing about it is, you get into those areas where maybe Keith Combs caught a fish that you couldn't have caught. Maybe Johnny even couldn't have caught that fish.
Right. Exactly.
Is he on the air?
No, not yet.
He's not? Okay.
He ain't called in yet. I just sent him a text or call. But you said you got it a couple of weeks ago, and somebody made the comment. The guy made the comment. He said, "I want to catch the fish of a lifetime."
I would have liked to have caught the fish of a lifetime.
Exactly. Now, how many guides get that request, and that's what they think a guide's going to do for them a lot of times, and you're like, I do too. I want to catch one of those today as well. I'm like, really? That's the expectations of some people that think they ought to catch the fish of a lifetime?
Well, there's a big difference for a lot of people in that. Do they really have what it takes? You take some of these California anglers. They go out there to Castaic, Clear Lake, and Miramar, some of those lakes like that. They're fishing with a trout that's probably 10, 11 inches long or a swim bait that big. Odds of you getting a bite once every 4 hours,
right?
Slim and none.
Yeah.
You just got to be ready when you do get that bite, and you got to be patient enough to be able to sling that sucker out there 4, 5, 8, 10 hours, day after day after day after day, to be able to marry yourself to the philosophy that you're going to catch one. I just saw in my BASS magazine the other day, a guy caught one 17 pounds out there, and you're thinking to yourself, man, what a toad. That's a huge, you don't just accidentally run into fish that size when you're out there. Those guys are fishing with one thing in mind. I want to catch the fish of a lifetime. Will be prepared to go a lot of days you don't get a bite.
The biggest fish of your life is encompassed in about a 1 or 2 minute period in your life.
Sure.
Yeah.
So how in the world can somebody predict or regulate when that's going to happen?
Yeah.
With us,
and 99.9% luck.
Well, if with the three of us headed to Lake Fork next week, if you're going to catch the biggest fish of your life, and you're going to try to do it next Wednesday evening, what are you going to throw? What's tied on your pole?
I'm going to throw what Johnny tells me to throw.
Yeah. I mean, I would throw either a big worm if I just going by myself.
What is the biggest fish of your life?
8.2 is my biggest fish.
I caught one weight 11.
So it's very... You're probably going to catch the biggest fish of your life. 8.7, really? That's
8.2.
8.2.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
that's going to happen.
Now, I did have a 10 plus. I put my thumb on her nose at Toledo Bend at 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
Slow rolling spinnerbait. I put my hand on a 10 plus, and when I touched her nose, she woke up, and she decided she wasn't coming.
How'd that happen one night?
I was actually, in my mind, I was already at Kurt Carver's weighing this sucker in.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen. She cut me on the trolling motor.
What about you? And I'm sure it had to be at Heartland, 10-10.
No, actually it wasn't.
What?
No, the biggest fish I've ever caught was on Cross Lake.
Really?
Yep.
And how much?
12.55.
Way to go.
Yep. Now, I had a big one on Cross Lake that weekend we did our deal. This didn't get her in the boat. But
12.55. Caught on what?
It was caught on a black neon tube.
What time of the year?
March. About 4 years ago.
Wow. That's a good fish.
Yep. Largest fish to ever be officially weighed off of Cross Lake.
Wow.
Doesn't mean it's the largest fish to ever be caught, but just.
But you hold the lake record right now.
Well, yeah.
Well, of course you do. I mean,
take that.
How about that?
Boy.
But you know what? Going over, really what I want to do, I hope that Johnny takes us out the next morning and do the brim fishing, the live brim fishing.
Yeah.
That's what, even if we don't catch many, I want to see how it's done, what type of rig they use, because that's something that you can utilize on the lake. I really think you can use it on some of our. I know I can use it over at Heartland.
Right.
But it's got to be a different setup, and you've got to get the confidence in doing. And it's a lot cheaper and a lot easier than doing the live shiner fishing, where shiners are $2 a piece, and you can't buy them around here.
Well, let's think about the Heartland. You go over there a lot. There's some other guys that guide over there as well. So those same fish are seeing a lot of the same presentations day after day after day. And at some point, you educate the bass in that regard, and they just dig it till they don't want to hit certain. So the brim deal could really be big for you when you take guys over there. Could be something special.
Educating the fish, I think, is something that we have got to start getting a grasp on.
Yeah.
When went to the biological meeting, the meeting with the biologist about taking the slots off the Louisiana lakes, the question was brought up: what percentage of fish in Cross Lake are Florida strain? Because they've been stocking them for 30 years.
Yeah.
He said less than 20%.
I believe that.
Well, I was thinking 70 or 80.
Yeah.
I said, what about Caddo Lake? He said less than that.
Yeah.
The amount of fish that you put in, no matter what the stocking program is, the amount of fish that you put in by the time they mix with the millions of native black bass, the strain gets diluted so far back that the Florida strain is not making the impact that we thought it was. How many times have you heard people say, I used to go up to Caddo Lake and catch 30 fish a day? It says, Dad, blame Florida bass. Now you can't catch them anymore.
Yeah.
That's not really the case.
Yeah.
The case is we are educating the fish by the fishing pressure, and God help me, catch and release has had a negative impact on our fisheries around here.
Really?
Fish are being caught 2 or 3 times and getting to where they're not going. You got a tree out there that holds the fish. Used to be you could go to that tree on Bistineau and catch fish every time you went there. You caught that fish, you took him out.
Mm-hmm.
Another fish said, this is a good place to watch TV and visit with. You know,
now listen
he
to this.
moves in.
Yeah.
But now you put that fish back, that fish goes back. A week later, somebody catches him. 3 weeks later, he said, I'm tired of getting my jaw jacked.
Yeah.
Right.
He quits biting.
And listen to this. Not all bass will hit artificial.
Yep.
Not all bass will hit artificial baits.
Before we get off on your rant, let me clarify. I am not saying anything negative about catch and release.
You just say everything comes with a price.
That's right.
Right.
I still think that we harvesting, that's the reason they took the slot off Cross Lake and the trophy lakes. We're not harvesting the right fish. That's the little fish.
Right.
To where the medium size, your brood fish and stuff can grow. Please, I'm urging people out there, just because they lifted the slot someplace, do not go out there and start keeping these 3, 4, and 5 pound fish just to come back. Yeah. And I see it on Facebook all the time. People, big strings of fish that it appears that they're keeping.
Right.
You know, keep the little fish. Do not hurt. Do not devastate what Wildlife and Fisheries is trying to do by keeping these middle size and these big fish. Please don't do that.
We got an open segment at 12:30. When we go off there for the break, I'm gonna call Johnny and tell him to call in at 12:30. Since we don't have time to get him on in this segment, so, and he hadn't called in anyway. He's probably out catching a big one. But you know, there's again, I didn't know that all bass wouldn't hit artificials. I didn't have a clue, and I learned that from Natchitoches fishery biologist at the hatchery at Natchitoches. He said you can take live crawfish. He said we've run tests like this. We want to know ourselves. You can dump 4 or 5 live crawfish into a tank, and they'll attack it. I mean, they'll just gobble them up as fast as you drop them in there. You can take a crawworm imitation pocket crawl, drop it in there, same color, same everything. 2 of them will hit it. The third one won't even look at it. Wow. He said they will not go after it.
You know, when you bring up pressure, though, and guys, every year, you know, we have a lot of conversation about it. In the opening week, 10 days of deer season, you see a lot of activity. I mean, you see does, you'll see yearlings, you see, you know, a few bucks. You might not see as many as you do during the rut.
Right.
But you let your hunting lease, you know, the guys start driving in and out and 4-wheelers and just general population influx going into the woods in places where they hadn't been for the previous 9 months.
Yeah.
And also the amount of activity that you see is a whole lot less. And, you know, when we start driving them into a nocturnal, I mean, I'm not saying that maybe fishing doesn't get better at night during those high pressure times.
You want to know the most overlooked place to hunt? Once hunting season starts, the most overlooked place to go hunt is the very front where you come in the gate.
Really?
They migrate to the front a lot of times because everybody's going all the way deep into the woods. They think they got to go all the way in there, 200 miles.
There's been more big bucks killed on Loggy Bow during the gun season behind the game wardens' shacks and stuff at the gate.
Yep.
And there has been consistently than any other.
Those
place.
Deer know that they're coming in the wood. They're moving to the front. A lot of the best hunts are in the front.
Let me mention something before I forget it. Our good friend, longtime area fishing guy, Joe Therrell.
Yeah.
Was hospitalized a couple of weeks ago with a brain tumor. Did the surgery. He's in Spring Lake guest care now, rehab and therapy. And I went by and saw him this morning. Joe's having a tough time right now, but let's just everybody keep Joe. And if you don't remember, he's the old gray-headed guy that looked just like Leslie Nielsen.
Ron Mears.
Joe, I love Joe. He's a great guy.
He always looked like Leslie Nielsen from Naked Gun.
And he's always a happy guy.
And about as funny.
Yeah, he is funny. I like Joe.
So just keep him in your prayers and your thoughts.
Keep David Parker in your prayers, too. David's still having a hard time, so keep Parker in your prayers as well.
Okay, we're going to visit here in a minute with Jason Pittman. He's going to give us a holler about the new Magnum sensation from Mr. Twister. That's next. Hooking up and tracking down 11:30, The Tiger.
Super Bowl champion cornerback Richard.
Some things just stayed the same, but not Toledo Town and Tackle. Still the best selection of tackle on the bin. Zoom dive with Gene LaRue and Santone. Now double the size of the original store, you have twice as much to choose from. With a new deli serving the best hamburgers, pizza, and soft drinks, you'll find something that's sure to fill your belly. They also have a great selection of tees and polo-style shirts. So stop in and treat yourself to the best tackle box on the bin. Toledo Town and Tackle on beautiful Toledo Bend Lake. Looking for a place to get away from it all? Look no further than Red River's Midway Marina in St. Maurice. Owners John and Kemp Nelson invite you to stop by for lunch or come in and rent one of several cabins for the weekend. RV hookups and a nice boat ramp that leads to some of the best skiing and fishing on Red River. Fully stocked bait and tackle store with gas pumps on and off the water. So book your next trip online, midwaymarinastmaurice.com or call 318-646-0097. Hello everybody, Ranger Pro Staffer Steve Graff with the Hooking Up and Tracking Down Show. Folks, there's nothing I love more than my Rhino. I've had 3-wheelers, I've had 4-wheelers, but if you want the best of the best, you need to get you a Rhino 700 from Honda Yamaha Village right here in Natchitoches. My Rhino does more than take me to and from the deer stand. It is a great utility vehicle around your house. You can use it for all kinds of stuff, including yard work. I've got it loaded down right here. But one of the best features of the Rhino, it's got a dump bed right in the back of it. So go see the guys at Honda Yamaha Village of Natchez, Chip, Layton, and the gang over there, and let them show you the new Yamaha 700 series from Honda Yamaha Village right here in Natchez.
When I go shopping, I want camo, fishing tackle, guns, hunting gear, work clothes.
And when I go shopping, I want home decor, gifts, children's, and baby clothes.
Fortunately, we can both get exactly what we need at the same place, Nichols.
All the name brands you can find in the big city without driving to the big city and paying big city prices.
Nichols, keeping folks happy since 1914.
Launch facilities. So let's go. Get on the Red River and see what you've been missing. What are you afraid of? A good time?
This segment presented by Cypress Knee Outdoors, Mr. Twister, Lake Fork Marina, and Lake Fork guide Johnny Geis. The only guide you'll need at Lake Fork. Take it away, Gary.
Welcome back to Hooking Up and Tracking Down. Ranger Boat Pro Staffer Steve Graff, Gary McCoy, Mike Eccles. Real quick, Red River. With boat ramps and facilities all along the Red River system, now's the time to take advantage of not only the great fishing, but it's also a great place for pleasure boating as well. With hundreds of sandbars to choose from, it's a camper's dream world. Great way to enjoy Red River and everything it has to offer. So take advantage of the facilities near you and get out on this great body of water and enjoy the slow-moving waters of Red River. Go to redriverwaterway.com for more information or to find a facility near you.
When did you write that?
Yesterday.
Okay.
Why?
Slow-moving waters of Red River.
Yeah, slow-moving waters.
Yeah, it's going to reach.
That sucker, all the pilings are underwater right now, bro.
It is going to reach 18 feet, I think, in Shreveport by this evening, which will cause.
They're going to close some ramps?
All the core ramps will probably be closed by tonight, unfortunately.
So Shreveport Bossier ramp's probably done?
Yeah.
Man, we've had some rain this week.
Oh, dude.
Woo.
Yeah.
Man,
I got a question for you. You know, when Toledo Bend first was impounded, what was that? What we visit with Helen on that. It was about 68.
Linda Curtis
Linda, I'm sorry.
Yeah. 68.
68.
Yeah.
The fishing didn't get phenomenal until the mid-70s.
Oh, really? See, I didn't know that. I just remember watching it as a kid.
I mean, that was when the fishing just exploded, was mid-70s.
John Fox, Virgil Ward. I loved all those guys.
I'm just wondering, do you think we've come into the prime on Red River yet?
I think we have because, we had so many fish that were inaccessible for so many years, and the timber fell, and as the timber fell, it puts these fishes into isolated spots, but it also allowed the anglers to get in there. Mm-hmm. And I really think, not to say that the river is not still one of the best places around. If it wasn't BASS, FLW, all of it wouldn't be coming.
Right.
But I do believe that we have past they'll still catch some great fish off Red River, and there'll still be some big fish caught. But the prime, I think we fished past it. Yeah.
Okay. On the phone,
I had an opinion on it.
Okay, hang on just a second. Hang on.
No, go ahead now.
No, we're going to. Jason Pittman's on the phone.
I've lost my thought.
Hey, Jason.
Hey, I'm here, guys.
All right, now listen. You obviously are committed to Toledo Bend.
Well, I wouldn't say committed. I got kind of fired up listening to the Red River there. I got to fish it in its prime back in the when the Bass Opens or the Invitationals back then were just starting to come. You know, back in the heydays when there was another marina down there around Neenach and stuff like that. So I miss it, trust me. But I'm going to agree with Mike on that about the heyday or the prime. It may be on the downslope a little, but I think enough people are taking care of it as far as with the Red River Waterway Commission and the Corps of Engineers and all. So I don't think it's completely done. I think people are just taking care of it more now.
And see, I'm going to take a different approach here.
Okay.
I'm not disagreeing with exactly what they're saying, that maybe the peak may have. They are stocking Red River yearly with hundreds of thousands of Florida strain bass. They just probably got the best restocking program of any body of water in Louisiana right now. I look for that. I think we're going to sustain a high level for a long period of time.
See, I don't know that's the best thing. I don't know that the Florida bass is the best thing to have.
It's not a pure Florida strain. That's the key.
Yeah.
The pure Florida strain is one of the toughest bass to catch.
Yeah.
They're such a finicky feeder.
Right.
But
I like the
crossbred bass with Florida strain, what they call XO, X1s, whatever they call it. They got a name for G1, well, I don't know, G2.
C3PO.
Yeah, C3PO. Whatever the number they gave these fish.
Yeah.
Anyway, those are the fish that they are stocking in Red River. And I even talked to a biologist about Cross Lake.
Yeah.
I said, how many pure Floridas are in Cross Lake? He said, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
He said, probably none. I said, really? He said, no. These fish, he said, all your pure Florida strain are pretty much gone. He said, they've already crossbred. He said, go catch a pure Florida. And he said, probably not going to happen in Cross Lake.
Okay, Jason is a friend of mine I've known since for, I don't know, probably 15 or 20 years when he first started fishing from South Louisiana. And he works very closely with Daryl Laurent at Mr. Twister.
Right.
And Jason, we have a new bait here. Jason, I've got one in my hand right now.
I got one too.
Okay.
You've got one.
Well, yeah, we've actually, there's not many of them around, but this is the newest bait introduced by Mr. Twister called the Magnum Sensation, and I believe it's going to be one of the best soft plastic baits ever out, and maybe the best that Twister has ever come out with. And Jason, you've had some in your hands here for a month or two, haven't you?
Yes, sir, I have. I've been real fortunate, to kind of help out, tweak it a little here and there with Daryl and some other great guys that are, affiliated with Twister. We've really, I think we've hit a home run with it as far as versatility of it. I was on Toledo last week kind of playing around while the elite guys, I was trying to stay out of their way. And absolutely, we crush fish on it, just kind of dragging it across the grass, stuff like that. So it's the versatility of it is really going to be endless as far as if somebody wants to Carolina rig it, drag it like you would in a frog situation or split shot it, punch it, rig it. It just doesn't matter. The possibilities are endless there, and really looking forward to getting a reaction from the public this week right around here on Toledo Bend when we do release it at the store.
Jason, the first impression, when I first looked at this bait, Mike pulled them out and dropped them in front of me here. Of course, he dropped my favorite color on top of me, black neon. The first thing I thought, not Texas rig this thing, I would swim this sucker through grass, and I bet you can kill them on swimming it.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I did last week. I played with it a little bit as far as I didn't put a weight on it yet. The grass was kind of thick that we were fishing, but I think a 16th ounce weight or an 8th ounce weight, like you said, just swimming it.
Yeah.
The tail on it is really gives it great action, but I necessarily didn't think that the appendages that are on it, as far as the arms, were going to be that effective. But my gosh, were they ever? It was one of those that looked, at first glance, it looked kind of meaty, but you could still maybe bite the head off a little bit. Those are all just the fishermen coming out in I'm all about reinventing the wheel. You know, even though it's round, I think I can round it off even more. So.
Well, let me see if I can actually describe this for anybody that might be listening right now. What is this one that we've got here? Is that a 4-inch or a 6-inch?
It's like a 6-inch.
Okay, and it's got a couple of arms hanging off. We're talking maybe 3/4 of an inch from the head of it. Like Jason said, it is a little meaty. It's probably, we're going to say 3/8 wide.
But it's not as meaty as a sweet beaver.
No, not as meaty as. But it's worm in appearance. But it's got a really good auger tail on the end of it, and I'm going to tell you right now, that's going to give it, a swimming action.
Oh yeah,
that'll be second to none. If it'll remind you of the old gator tail,
tail worm
from years ago. And Jason, do you know how many different colors this is going to be available in when it first comes out?
You know, right now I'm thinking there's about 8. I could have hit or missed that by 2 or 3 colors, but we do have the basics down. I know, as much as I hate to know this, but there's some black neon available in it. I think that's just a staple for South Louisiana. But I've seen some Junebug red, some baby bass, some shad colors, pearl white. Really, just everything that, for versatility wise, that you would need. There's always going to be, somebody that's like, man, if y'all made that in this color, I'd buy it.
Famous words of a fisherman.
I think we've talked around this bait. I may be wrong and described it, but I don't believe we've given the name yet. This is the Magnum Sensation.
You started off with
that. That's it. I don't even know. The Magnum Sensation, and as far as I know, there's only 2 places locally to get them. I believe Big Dave at Bayou Outdoors got some last night, and down at Toledo Tackle, Kurt Carver's place, Toledo Tackle, they should have them. I think this is going to be one of a great worm fishing bait, Texas rig, punching, and also a swim bait. I think that's where this is going to.
I think you trail a jig with it.
Another thing, too, guys, this is part of the new lineup of the Pocket Series. This is a pocket bait. This is one of their Pocket Series of baits that they just come out with. So this is just an additional bait to add to their lineup of Pocket Series of baits.
Pete Daniels has been fishing this on Caddo Lake for about a month, doing very well. 2 weeks ago, I gave 3 of these to Chad Kelly.
Is this what you was going to give me at Toledo and I left them?
Yep. I gave Chad Kelly 3 of these as he went out for the Thursday night tournament. He caught a 3-fish limit on Cross Lake. He came back. We had the Boss Tournament Trail. The next 2 days later, he came to the American Legion and said, please, please, please give me some more. He caught his limit, 5-fish limit, Saturday on the Magnum Sensation.
Wow. Jason, and I got a question, Jason. Durability. I mean, this thing feels pretty tough.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, is it one of those one fish, one bait, or can you catch a couple?
Absolutely not. What a lot of people may not know about the Mr. Twister brand itself is there's no salt in it. So a lot of the other bait companies load them up with salt, and that just causes it to tear really quick. Which, I mean, hey, I understand the pros and cons. I'm in no position to tell you what's better than what the other thing, but with no salt in this, it's pure plastic. So when a fish hits it, he's going to eat it, and that's the best part about it. The thing that I've seen, and with this bait, you can actually. I'm the type of I fish when I rig one. If I'm fishing at Texas rig or just anyway, I pull the hook through and then skin hook it back. So by doing that, I'm not eating a lot of the bait as far as chewing it up with the hook point. What I was able to do, we've been rationing these things for quite some time, so I've actually been able to take the hook out, turn the bait around, and rig it not backwards but through the other side.
Yeah.
And get twice as much use. I think one particular bait that I had, actually, I want to say I caught maybe 6 fish on it, and that was pulling it through the grass. So, that right there tells me that a pack is going to last you at least through a decent fishing day.
Right. Now, is there any future plans to make these? Do these already have a knee sole in them, or do they come in a knee sole or not?
I don't believe they do. They've got a little bit of scent, but not nothing that's going to stink up the the compartment in the boat or anything like that. So,
Right.
Squirt it with something else.
There you go.
Worcestershire or something. Graf, God.
Well, and that would really work. That would work well because you got the pockets. The
I'm
pockets
just telling
on
you, this one or that.
You'll be the one wanting a special color here in about 30 minutes.
Black Emerald is my request. Black Emerald.
Well, that watermelon seed over there, you take a little bit of spike it on there, put some spike and some chartreuse spike it on that tail. I'm telling you right now, I catch fish on that an hour after I get to Caddo Lake.
Nobody dips anymore.
Well, I want everybody to go by Bayou Outdoors and ask Big Dave if you're down there fishing the Sealy tournament on Toledo Bend. Go to T-Town, ask them. They've got the Magnum Sensation by Mr. Twister.
There you go.
Thank you, Jason Pittman. We appreciate you, brother.
Hey, guys, I know y'all fixing to go to commercial, and I appreciate y'all's time, but also I'm going to be at Toledo Tackle Thursday afternoon and Friday afternoon, so showing the baits off. So if somebody's listening, come up to me, say hi. We'd love to talk some fishing, guys. Thank y'all for having me.
Hey,
Thank you,
Jason.
This might be the ticket on the Big Bass Splash.
Hey, I promise
wouldn't that be something?
This might be the ticket. You know,
I bet you it at least gets hourly.
Well, you talk about fish being educated. They hadn't seen this yet.
They ain't seen that yet.
Yeah. Check it out, Mr. Twister's new Magnum Sensation. Hang on, we got the best times to fish here in just a minute. That is actually next. Hooking up and tracking down. 11:30, the Tiger.
If you're looking for a place that knows ATVs, look no further.
Toledo Fiberglass specializes in fiberglass restoration, offering fiberglass repair on all major brands of ski and bass boats. Al Drew and his staff will get you back on the water where you belong. Everything from metal flake scratches to recarpeting, Toledo Fiberglass can fix it. It's also home of the Gorilla Hull and the headquarters of the Minn Kota Talon Shallow Water Anchor System. So the next time you need fiberglass repairs or restoration, go see Toledo Fiberglass just off the Texas Highway or call 800-554-5452. Some things just stayed the same, but not Toledo Town and Tackle. Still the best selection of tackle on the bend. Zoom, dive with Gene LaRue and Sam Tone. Now double the size of the original store, you have twice as much to choose from. With a new deli serving the best hamburgers, pizza, and soft drinks, you'll find something that's sure to fill your belly. They also have a great selection of tees and polo-style shirts. So stop in and treat yourself to the best tackle box on the bend. Toledo Town and Tackle on beautiful Toledo Bend Lake.
Rick Terrell here for Terrell Brothers Furniture in Natchez, where we've got 7-piece living room groups as low as $5.99. You heard right, 7-piece living room groups as low as $5.99. And we've got over 20 groups to choose from. So before you buy living room furniture anywhere, come to Terrell Brothers Furniture, 310 Texas Street in Natchitoches.
Weekend. Folks, we're coming off a full moon this weekend, so that means it's probably going to be a good afternoon bite. Friday, 1:29 p.m. till 4:29 in the afternoon. Saturday, 2:28 p.m. till 5:28 p.m. And on Sunday, 3:27 p.m. till 6:27 p.m. This has been your Mr. Twister Best Times to Fish. Catch more fish more often.
Welcome back to Hooking Up and Tracking Down on 1130 The Tiger. This segment presented by Toledo Town and Tackle, Natchitoches Ford Lincoln, Gamakatsu Hooks, and Honda Yamaha Village, your local North Louisiana power sport dealer. Now back to the trio that think they're a hero, but they're really a zero. Steve, Gary, and Mike.
It's every week.
Every week. Where's it?
I'm just one of these days we're going to rate. It's going to happen. Hey, thank you for sticking around with us. Hooking Up and Tracking Down. I'm Gary McCoy. Along with me, Ranger Pro Staffer Steve Graff and Mike Eccles in the house as well. And Mike, you mentioned something before we jump with because we got Johnny Geis on the phone. Before we mentioned there was another tournament that there was this weekend. The original
Ronald McDonald House fundraising tournament in Monroe.
Okay,
will be on the Ouachita River. It's a big bass tournament with hourly weigh-ins. I've had the honor to be a part of that for about the last 6 years. To go over and do the weigh-in, the MC.
Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday. It'll be out of Lazar Park. On Ouachita, that place over there. It's great tournament. If you're not going to Toledo Bend, you're looking for a big bass tournament, go enter Friday afternoon. They're taking registrations now.
Okay.
Most people come in Friday afternoon down at Lazar Park. Go see Tony, Brad Birch, John Bro, some of the board of directors that work all year long try to get this tournament off the ground. It's a great event. Going to have a lot of fun.
Well, as we mentioned earlier in the show, with the Texas Toyota Classic on Lake Fork last week, broke all the 3-day records known to man. I want to say that the old record was like in the 80-pound range.
Yeah.
Keith Combs just busted it wide open with 110 pounds. In fact, ninth place was Todd Faircloth with 82.8, which by itself would have been the new 3-day record.
Yeah.
Okay, you understand what? That's ninth place.
Yeah.
You look at this. Who was this?
Look at the final day weight on 7th and 8th place.
Yeah, Todd Faircloth on the final day. 8th place with 25.8. You've got 5 fish weigh 25.8. I'm telling you right now, your feet don't touch the ground a whole bunch. You're pretty pumped, that put him in 8th place.
You think of the intensity of this. You broke a world record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's 7 people ahead of you.
Yeah. Exactly.
What a letdown.
Johnny Geis on the phone right now. Johnny, to say that the fish were biting a little bit last weekend, probably an understatement, huh?
Well, welcome to my world, guys.
Wow.
The things you have to do to make a living, brother. God love you. We're all praying
If
for you.
you can't book a trip after last weekend, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
I love that job. I tell you what, that slide, and I know y'all have different thoughts about that, but we get the 25, 30-pound stringers almost every day, but you don't hear about them on tournaments because they can't weigh in, but, the one fish over the slot. But that's a quality of fish that's on Lake Fork, and every pro, almost everyone I heard the weigh in all 3 days, we're talking about the best lake they've ever fished in their life. So it's awesome.
Well, it's got to be a huge shot in the arm for Lake Fork, and especially you guys that are actually guiding over there, Johnny. I would think the phone has just rang off the hook. People trying to book a trip to Lake Fork now. Am I right?
It has. A lot of it's been pretty booked up through the end of May, but that's going to really help out in June and July because we have a great deep structure lake, and that's what these pros, they went right in. It doesn't take them long. I was out there guiding customers, and it's amazing how many places they find so quick with their electronics and the mapping that they got nowadays. They were sitting on every one of the community holes, and not only sitting on them, they were extracting some big old bass on them.
Well, you know what? You just brought up a really good point there, Johnny, in that, you're out there day in and day out. You almost get kind of numb to this. Some of these guys, though, even Keith Combs said it was the best he'd ever had in his life.
Ever.
And best single day, best tournament, anything.
And he got it, and he's down there Falcon in the heyday of that bite. So we're real impressed. Texas Parks and Wildlife does a great job. It's just a fabulous lake, and it's just getting better. We got some good rain the last couple of days. The water's coming up. Frog bites on right now. So if you want to catch them in a foot of water or 30 foot of water, just pick your poison.
That's what I was going to ask you. How many different patterns?
Eccles has a question. He wants to know that they catch them on your brim technique.
No, but they'd only had about a 10-pound average if they tried that.
Yeah, Johnny, I hope you haven't gotten so busy that you're going to cancel on our trip next week, have you?
No, we're looking forward to y'all's trip. I'm planning ahead on that, and hope to show you guys just really what it's like. But I caught some brim last couple of days, so that really hasn't started that good yet, but it ought to be by this weekend because the fish have moved out. Probably we still got a quarter of them spawning right now, and as they load up on the deep pumps, pond dams, road beds, old bridges, it's game on out there in deep water right now.
I just want to come over there and catch a fish of a lifetime. That's not too big.
Does
like every other country.
Does our trip include an old-timey telephone with 2 leads and a dip net? That's all I want to know.
No, we'll catch some fish. But, we had a good bite earlier in the year with Alabama rigs, so they're hung up on every tree out there. Now there's 10 XDs hung up where the Alabama rigs are. So we do get hung up a lot on lures, that's for sure.
Bring my scuba diving equipment and rack up.
I think one pro came in with a whole treetop that he'd caught. It had like 7 or 8 10 XDs in it just from this tournament alone.
He made money.
Yeah, really?
Oh, wow. Well,
bring some of those new sensations with you next week. We're going to try those out.
Yeah,
I got 2 bags that will never make it back to Eccles' truck.
Hey, Gary, have you seen the 10XD?
The 10XD?
Yeah.
No.
It's like throwing your coffee mug out there.
Oh, really?
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
You almost have a special setup for that darn thing.
Wow.
Well, that and the 7-inch swim bait, I was throwing it the other day, and it's just, it throws like a
like a shot put, but it's easy to reel in, and you can spool your reel with it. But those little big fish are coming up and biting that thing.
Well, Johnny, what about, the next couple of nights they say are going to get pretty cold around here, back down into the 40s again. It's the never-ending winter, as we've dubbed it. But what will that do to, Friday, Saturday, Sunday's bite?
No, it doesn't mess them up this time of year. They've already committed. They're moved in. The shad is even spawning right now. So the cold weather, not as critically as early in the year when he kicks it back. All you got to do is just miss that clear bluebird day right after the front. That's going to be a little bit of a slow bite. But
that's going to be tomorrow.
Yeah.
I know when we go next week, guys, it's supposed to be 90, 91, the highs each day over there. So it'll warm up on us.
Are you a believer in that old 3-day rule? 3 days after the front before things really start to pan back out?
Well, as a guide, you're pretty familiar with all the good excuses. So whatever it takes.
Whatever works.
They don't like the water. They don't like it when it's wet. Okay, give us a tip for this week, Johnny.
The tip right now is you just got to take off and go fishing. It's just a fabulous time of the year. The brim bedded, the crappie are biting, the bass are hitting anywhere from top water base to deep. It's just a fabulous time to get out there. But people need to spend a little more time learning to fish offshore. I see so many anglers come out and beat the same banks over and over and over, and I'm just kind of laughing. If they just move back about 200 yards and fish a little bit deeper in the cove, they'd be catching a lot bigger size fish. So they're out there. You got to spend a little time, and the pros can go to any lake, but and catch a lot of fish. But they did show what the capability of Lake Fork is this weekend.
Do I have to spend $1,000 on electronics, or can I do it with a $100 graph?
1,000. Looking more now.
You can tell how deep it is with a $100 graph. With electronics we've got now, I can actually see on a Carolina rig my weight and my bait falling under the trolling motor.
Look, guys, Keith Combs alluded to, y'all didn't hear that part of the recording that I sent in today for the show. Keith Combs talked about when he found this group of fish, he got on the end of a point. Mm-hmm. He said his screen blacked out. There were so many bass, it just went black.
Wow.
So we got so
That's
many
incredible.
white bass mixed in with them right now, and that's what the bass are around. The sand bass, white bass are out there feeding on shad heavy, and you have to catch about 50 of those to get one of those bass. So it's not bad, when you take one off that every cast, and then the next one's 8-pounder. So
wow.
It's just
That's a
good time.
tough way to have to make a living. I just don't know how Johnny does it.
I bet Gerald Swindle wish he'd have called Johnny before he went out there.
Well, I tell you, we had our own Kelly Jordan who used to guide there, and he has to be so disappointed because he just had probably too many memories to go fish, but he didn't catch but like 5 fish in the 2 days of the tournament. So
I thought I finished last.
Somebody's going to be first, somebody's going to be last. It can happen to anybody, but I would have thought Kelly would have been right up there with him, but he will be the next time.
Well, he said he tried to stay out of everybody's way on day 2. He said I was so far out of it. He said I just tried to stay out of everybody's way.
Well, that's a good thing to say, but I'd be willing to bet he was trying to catch it.
That's another one of those excuses, I'm sure.
Hey, Johnny, what do we need to bring next week?
Y'all just bring yourself, and I'll let you buy my dinner. And other than that, wife and I are ready for you to stay at the house. We're going to have a ball. So
Golly.
I'm looking forward
fantastic.
to it, guys, and just kick back, and I hope we can experience what I get to do every day.
Johnny, okay, how does somebody get hold of you to get a trip booked?
And I do have some days here in June. That's the best time of the year for me. So give me a call at 972-800-3882. Area code 972-800-3882. Website is just lakeforkbigfish.com.
Johnny, guys, the only name you need to mention when you get ready to go fishing over there, you want to go for a great trip, you want to possibly catch that biggest fish of your lifetime.
Right.
Johnny Geis.
That's it. He's a man.
Thank you, brother.
All right. See you next week, guys.
All right, man.
Thank you.
We'll wrap things up, get a final word, and try to remind you of a couple of things that are going on over the course of the next couple of weeks that you'll want to take part in. That's the final segment of Hooking Up and Tracking Down. It starts next on 11:30, The Tiger.
Hey guys, Tim Fletcher with you here on 11:30.
When I go shopping, I want camo, fishing tackle, guns, hunting gear, work clothes.
And when I go shopping, I want home decor, gifts, children's and baby clothes.
Fortunately, we can both get exactly what we need at the same place. Nichols.
All the name brands you can find in the big city without driving to the big city and paying big city prices.
Nichols, keeping folks happy since 1914.
Looking for a place to get away from it all? Look no further than Red River's Midway Marina in St. Maurice. Owners John and Kemp Nelson invite you to stop by for lunch or come in and rent one of several cabins for the weekend. RV hookups and a nice boat ramp that leads to some of the best skiing and fishing on Red River. Fully stocked bait and tackle store with gas pumps on and off the water. So book your next trip online, midwaymarinastmaurice.com, or call 318-646-0097.
Hello everybody, Ranger Pro Staffer Steve Graff with the Hooking Up and Tracking Down Show. Folks, there's nothing I love more than my Rhino. I've had 3-wheelers, I've had 4-wheelers, but if you want the best of the best, you need to get you a Rhino 700 from Honda Yamaha Village right here in Natchitoches. My Rhino does more than take me to and from the deer stand. It is a great utility vehicle around your house. You can use it for all kinds of stuff, including yard work. I've got it loaded down right here. But one of the best features of the Rhino, it's got a dump bed right in the back of it. So go see the guys at Honda Yamaha Village of Natchez, Chip, Layton, and the gang over there, and let them show you the new Yamaha 700 series from Honda Yamaha Village right here in Natchez.
Legendary quality. At Ranger, it's an unparalleled commitment to incredible strength. With the industry's only pull-truted transom, we don't rely on the upper deck to support the transom and motor. It's a difference so strong, we sliced off this rear deck to show its independence from the transom. From total performance to your peace of mind. Cut open the whole story at rangerstrong.com.
Let's go eat at Honda's Steakhouse and Sushi Bar. They have all of our old favorites, or we could get something a little more exotic, like the Hibachi Grill, conveniently located at 814 Kaiser Avenue.
Hello, I'm Troy Umbehagen. We at Natchitoches Nursing and Rehabilitation proudly support and watch TV17's local programming.
Of Hooking Up and Tracking Down on 1130 The Tiger is presented by the Gear Grabber Lure Hanger System, Midway Marina, and Bayou Outdoor Supercenter, your Ranger Boats headquarters for the Arklatex. One more time, here's Steve Graff, Gary McCoy, and Mike Eccles.
And welcome back, folks. Our final segment of Hooking Up and Tracking Down for this week. Toledo Fiberglass. When it comes to fiberglass repair, no one does it better than Al Druitt and the guys at Toledo Fiberglass. Located just west of Toledo Town, Al's crew is nothing short of first class. Let's face it, if you own a boat, it's just a matter of time before hull damage will occur. These guys know what it takes to make your boat look like new again. It's also home of the Gorilla Hull, an application that not only increases the performance of your boat, but also makes your boat tougher than nails. So next time you suffer fiberglass damage, trust the guys at Toledo Fiberglass to get you back on the water.
You know, if your boat is not in the hospital for some reason, I invite you out to Cross Lake tomorrow evening. The Landers Ram Cash Splash, that's our every other Thursday tournament out at Cross Lake out of the public ramp. Registration starts at 4:15. You can start fishing at 5:15, be off the water by 8:30.
Just 3 fish limit?
Quit fishing at 8:30. I'm sorry, 3 fish limit, yes. Gotcha. $55 per team. Five of that goes to pay for the polygraph. We do that. But we pay one place per 10 in the entries. We've been running 78, 80 teams.
Wow.
And then we have 17 places, 17 extra places, bonus bucks. We're paying 25 places.
Wow.
You know, out there on an average. So on a 3 fish limit, so you can fish by yourself if you don't have a partner or your partner's got to work.
What time do I need to get there?
We start taking registrations at 4:15.
Okay.
You launch after you register. You can go launch. You go sit on your spot. Can't make a cast before 5:15. Have to quit at 8:30. Have to be in the weigh-in line by 9:15.
Okay, you're averaging 78 to 80 boats a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
You would average 79 to 81 boats per tournament if you would move it to Wednesday. I could fish it then. You know, Gary would even fish it with him.
I'd fish with him.
Why?
If you moved to
bull.
Yeah.
If I had it on Wednesday, you'd say, I got to go to church tonight. I can't be. Well, if you'd have it on Thursday.
I don't do Wednesday church.
You look for more excuses.
No, I'm not.
Hey, you know what? You guys, you might be able to help me out on this. I have had more people, and myself included, I have seen more snakes. I'm talking about poisonous moccasins, copperheads this year than I've seen in a long time. Have the guys on Cross or on the river seen a lot of snakes?
A lot of people on the river, but you're going to see it's like a hatchery down there on the river.
Exactly.
But God, I have not seen a snake.
I've had 3 in my garage, but they've been small, nothing poisonous. But
even our buddy Larry Ryan. Larry Ryan had a big old water moccasin in his backyard the other day, and it met a shovel. But dude, let me tell you what, that was a big one.
Don McCutcheon lives on off Timmons, and Blanchard has killed 2 record copperheads in his driveway.
Well, it could be a Blanchard thing. I don't know. Well, I'm just telling you, it has been bad. Okay, things that you need to take part in. Of course, the Black Lake Clear Lake Citizens Committee meeting. That is tonight, right?
Yes, it is at Lakewood Inn. It will take place at 6:00.
That's in Natchitoches, right?
That's right. It's at Black Lake. Lakewood Inn's at Black Lake.
Okay, gotcha.
Out there at Creston. Creston.
Okay, gotcha.
You go across the Black Lake Bridge. Both ramps are on the left and right. You just go straight. It's right there on your right.
Okay.
Great catfish. If you're looking just to go eat and want to hear what's being done to control the salvinia on that particular body of water and what may impact Bistineau, Caddo, Cross. A friend of mine, Randy Fair, called me on the way up here. He wanted to know, why is it that Cross Lake, all of a sudden, the salvinia disappeared?
Same reason it disappeared on Lake Bistineau. I was down there yesterday to go duck blind stuff. Now, and granted, I'm on the south end of the lake, and we have had 8 days of 90 to 120 mile an hour south winds.
Yeah.
So most of it's probably piled up at the Dixie Inn catfish place up on the bank. I did not see one piece of salvinia yesterday.
Really?
Huh. It's gone. It's not even banked up on the other side of the spillway where it was like 8 and 10 foot high.
Yeah.
It wasn't there.
Did they spray it and it just
No.
gone?
It's just we had a great winter. We have a lot of water. It's moved. It's not
You think
gone.
it's moved?
It's someplace else.
Okay.
We have got a reprieve, but what a great time to start doing something.
Sure.
Right.
Instead of waiting until the lakes are run.
Right.
Let's start right now.
Right.
Not that they haven't already been doing a lot. I support the state.
What do you think that are they giving some findings of a research piece back tonight?
That's what I'm hearing. The tonight's will be talked about. There's evidently different breeds of boll weevils.
Mm-hmm. They're not boll weevils. They're just weevils.
Weevils, excuse me. Salvinia weevils that they're going to be using to control it. South Louisiana has had success using the weevils to control it. They're trying to figure out how to make it work in North Louisiana. I suppose it's a different species of weevil down south. Anyway, the ones they did some research on this year, as cold as we got, the lady that went out with the LSU Ag Center, she went out and collected samplings of the weevils after the cold fronts had come through and the winter we had. A lot of them were still alive. She was shocked.
Okay.
So they think they may have created or found a species that will actually work.
Arctic weevil.
The Arctic weevil.
Does it scare you, though, what we're doing with that kind of stuff? I mean, it
does me a little bit.
I mean, you start thinking about the breeds of insects and stuff
introducing stuff that's not native
it's
here.
It's never good.
Fire ants came. That's why we don't have quail anymore. It's fire ants.
That's one of the reasons.
That the World's Fair brought those in.
I don't think we've got a choice now.
Yeah.
Well, we've lost our lakes.
Yeah. You're right.
If we have to put up with some goofy bug, let it be.
But do they eat houses? I mean, I don't know.
As long as they ain't eating the bass, I don't care.
Okay. I get a little bit nervous about that. Okay, we've got that also, as you mentioned earlier, for the Ronald McDonald House, which, if you don't know, is a great place. If you've got a child who is suffering from cancer, the Ronald McDonald House is there for the family to be able to stay while that child is undergoing the cancer treatment. And that tournament is this weekend on Ouachita. And you'll
out
be
of
able
Lazar Park on Ouachita River. Yeah, you can start registering now online. You can come over Friday and register and then go out and fish the Ouachita hour at 5 places per hour. A great tournament.
Big Bass Splash, Toledo Bend, 16th, 17th, 18th, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
All right, final word. With summertime fast approaching, that means school will be out soon and youngsters will be looking for a way to pass the time. What a great time to introduce them to fishing and the great outdoors. It's our job as stewards of the outdoors to take a kid under our wings and show them just how much fun fishing can be. As the old saying goes, give a man a fish, He can eat for a day, teaching him to fish, and he can eat for a lifetime. Till next week, may God bless. We'll see you next week with more Hooking Up and Tracking Down.
The Hooking Up and Tracking Down Show is sponsored by Daiwa Rods and Reels, Spro Lures, Bayou Outdoor Supercenter, your Ranger Boats headquarters, Nichols Department Stores, Natchitoches Ford Lincoln, J&J Exterminating. Got pests? Call J&J. Santone Lures, Cypress Knee Outdoors, Gamakatsu Hooks, the best hooks you'll ever use, Toledo Fiberglass, home of the Gorilla Hull, the Prefert Backwoods Bloodline Show, Toledo Bend Lake Country, Vicious Fishing Line, get vicious with the fishes, The Gear Grabber, BioBore Fuel Treatment, Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time, Lake Fork Marina, Lake Fork Fishing Guide Johnny Geis, Toledo Town and Tackle, the largest tackle box on the Bend, Midway Marina on Red River Waterway, Commercial Power Equipment, Honda Yamaha Village of Natchitoches, and by Bob Seeley Big Bass Splash Series, where amateurs win like the pros. We'll see you next week, and thanks for listening.
If you want to win money like...
Did you notice some brands sending out trophies from 2006 at boat shows this year? Really? It's like wearing your high school letterman jacket to a job interview when you're 30. But if other brands are going to raise the issue of awards, no matter how old they may be, we're happy to join the conversation. When it comes to awards, Sea Ray is in a class all its own. Sea Ray is the most awarded boat brand ever. Bayou Outdoor Supercenter has yours waiting for you. Bayou Outdoor Supercenter is Louisiana's family-owned RV and marine dealer.
Rick Terrell here for Terrell Brothers Furniture in Natchitoches, where we've got 7-piece living room groups as low as $5.99. You heard right, 7-piece living room groups as low as $5.99. And we've got over 20 groups to choose from. So before you buy living room furniture anywhere, come to Terrell Brothers Furniture, 310 Texas Street in Natchitoches.
Welcome back to this week's Hooking Up and Tracking Down Tip of the Week. I'm Ranger Boat Pro Staffer Steve Graff. Over the years, I've had a lot of products that I have purchased to add on to my boat. Anything from trolling motors to electronics. There's nothing that's come out in the last 25 or 30 years better than the Minn Kota Shallow Water Talon Anchoring System. This is a unit that'll go down up to 8 feet. It will anchor you tight to where you're at. It'll lock you down. If you're brim fishing, if you're white perch fishing, you gotta have one of these. If you're a bass fisherman, like to sight fish, you can drop this thing down, locks you in place. You can sit there and sight fish for that one bass all day long and not have to pick up the Minn Kota Talon Shallow Water Anchoring System. You can leave it down, fish that one sight fish, and you're ready to move, go to the next fish, hit the up button, comes right up. The best feature about this Minn Kota Talon system, it's all enclosed in this unit. No pumps go in the boat, nothing else. Everything is tied directly in this unit. So the next time you get ready to purchase a shallow water anchoring system, check out the Minn Kota. It's the best one on the market. I highly recommend it. And you can get them at Toledo Fiberglass or Bayou Outdoor Supercenter in Bossier City. Hello everybody, Ranger Pro Staffer Steve Graff with the Hooking Up and Tracking Down Show. Folks, there's nothing I love more than my Rhino. I've had 3-wheelers, I've had 4-wheelers, but if you want the best of the best, you need to get you a Rhino 700 from Honda Yamaha Village right here in Natchitoches. My Rhino does more than take me to and from the deer stand. It is a great utility vehicle around your house. You can use it for all kinds of stuff, including yard work. I've got it loaded down right here. But one of the best features of the Rhino, it's got a dump bed right in the back of it. So go see the guys at Honda Yamaha Village of Natchitoches, Chip, Layton, and the gang over there, and let them show you the new Yamaha 700 series from Honda Yamaha Village right here in Natchitoches.
The Natchitoches Sheriff's Office and Sheriff Victor Jones encourage all citizens to remember to be safe, buckle up, and remember, no texting.
You've heard the old saying, good things come to those who wait. Well, Natchitoches, the wait is over. John Abraham has just opened the best hunting and fishing store in Natchitoches. Cypress Knee Outdoors, located on Highway 6 west off I-49, has everything a hunter fisherman could want. Top name brands Zoom, Santone, Pelican, V&M, and the new Uzo baits, as well as hunting brands like Primos, Duck Commander, Hoyt, and Federal. So don't drive to Shreveport Ellick anymore. Go see the guys at Cypress Knee Outdoors or call them at 238-HUNT.
You're watching KNTS Digital 19 in Natchitoches, Louisiana.